So it is such a pleasure to have you here with us today, Jody. Please tell us about yourself. Tell us your full name and where you're from and where you live.
Well, howdy, howdy, Bonnie. It's so great to see you. You are looking lovely as always.
Thank you. You too. I love your getup. The cowboy hat
This
and the
is
scarf.
Every day. I'm Jody Stelzig. We work in the motion picture industry, and all my family's from Fayette County, Texas. I'm now a resident of Wizardville, Texas. The first person that knows where Wizardville is, I'll send them a free swag bag of ice. So if anyone knows where Wizardville, Texas is, you post it on Bonnie's page and we'll send you a free swag bag.
I've never even heard of Wizardville, but I love it.
Yeah. We are in these sticks. I promise you, in these sticks, 2 sticks.
So you say you work in film, but there's also some history. You worked as a professional rodeo cowboy. I saw that you qualified for college finals, for college national finals rodeo and Texas Cowboys Rodeo Association finals several times in bareback riding. And so how did that get started?
I got started in school, actually. So as soon as I graduated high school, I was, as they say, on the circuit. Entered up into went from the junior rodeo associations into the collegiate rodeo associations, and from there went into several of the regional semi-professional rodeo associations. And later on, after about 4 or 5 years in the business, I went professional, and I rodeoed in bareback riding and the team roping events. And about the last 5 years of my 15-year career, I spent mostly team roping after I quit riding broncs, because I was already at that time in the motion picture industry. So I wasn't gonna be able to do both the way I wanted to. And I absolutely fell in love with the motion picture industry. It was such a great fit for me, coming in from the rodeo career to going into the film business, because I started out as a stuntman. So it was a great segue.
Oh, wow. As a stuntman, what was one of your, first stunts that you did?
It was on the feature film, a teeny tiny little film some of you may have seen, called The Patriot, where we worked with Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger, Jason Isaacs, Adam Baldwin, Checky Carryoff, and the list goes on and on. But we were cast as Green Dragoons, so we were the British cavalry. So all the charge scenes and riding through all the explosions, and we carried live torches on our horses. So those weren't, when you see us riding and burning down and pillaging, those were real torches. They were some of the first of their kind ever built for film. And we actually had a propane canister attached to our body, and the line fed up our sleeves and went into the torch. So it was pretty high tech for 20 something years ago.
Well, that was a pretty big film. That's amazing. That sounds so cool. So how did that happen? Where did that transition occur?
Oh, the same way it does for most cowboys that get in the motion picture business. I got discovered at a horse sale.
Really?
Yeah, by all means. It was just happenstance. One of the casting guys was a horse enthusiast, and he saw me at a horse sale. And of course, years ago, I was nothing but a tall, lanky cowpuncher, and I was looking for a pony for one of my clients, and he was there looking for some film horses, and he spies me out of the crowd, and I came up on his list right quick. And at first, now Bonnie, I thought, oh, this guy's, he's pulling my chain a little bit. And he took my info, right? I mean, you know what the promises mean. You've been an entertainer for a
Oh,
long time.
yes.
So we all know what the promises mean. And he said, I'm going to call you in about 4 months. And I just kind of thanked him very, very much and went on about my life. At that time, I was training and showing cutting horses for myself and for the public too. And 4 months to the T, he called me. And in about 30 days from that period, I found myself in Rock Hill, South Carolina, in a wardrobe room, getting costumed up.
Oh, wow. And then ever since then, you've just loved it. You actually,
I loved it.
you've done so many things. You're a stuntman, you are a director. You recently directed a movie. You've done so many things. You've been in movies with Lawrence Fishburne, Selena Gomez, Will Patton. You've been on commercials. I mean, the list just goes on, and it's incredible. Do you ever have doubts about yourself doing this?
No, and I'll tell you why. I think, Bonnie, what's so important, and I stress this when I talk to young people all over the state of Texas. You know, I always said, if you really want to get something done, go find a cowboy, because if they don't fix it, they'll damn sure break it. And if you really want to get something done, go find some salt of the earth folks, and you can get it done. And I think you know what I'm talking about. And I always felt that it was a great opportunity to prove. They always said, well, rodeo cowboy can't become a all around stuntman. I said, really? Well, what about Ben Johnson? What about Chill Wills? What about all those? You know, I think brother Ben Johnson won a Oscar for acting in The Last Picture Show. So I as well as a seasoned stuntman. What about Richard Farnsworth? He had a storied career as a famous character actor and started out as a stuntman. So I thought, I can do whatever I want to do if I can find a door that'll open for me. Because as you know, in the business, a lot of doors get shut, right?
Oh, yes.
Well, I always try to figure out, well, how can I get that door to open? And that's what I continue to do. And they said, well, you know, Jody, you're a pretty good stuntman, and you're pretty good at crashing cars, and you're pretty good at falling off inanimate objects and things like that. And you're real good at falling off horses, but I just don't see you as an actor. You know, how are you going to do both? I'm gonna go for it. So I started acting, and I was picking up small supporting roles in independent films here in Texas, and it led to bigger roles and bigger roles. And in the last 10 years, I've gotten to do some pretty cool stuff. You know, getting to do that big Cavendar Chevrolet commercial with George Strait was a pretty big highlight. Being the Texan Original cover model for their line of Texan Original tortilla chips and products, and seeing myself in every HEB in Texas was pretty cool. Well, that was a good run. And you know, these movies, His Stretch of Texas Ground, you know, Joe Hallidan, that you worked on, that you had a pretty big part in several scenes with that. Great films like this that people need to see. I'm not going to let it stop me. They said, well, you know, Jody, you're a pretty accomplished actor now, but how are you going to direct this film? I said, well, I've already been an assistant director on several larger projects. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of problem directing this film, because I'm surrounding myself by a lot of really good people like yourself and everybody else, and Samuel and Jeff Caperton and really cool, really righteous guys like that, and ladies as well. And, you know, it all goes back, you know, people want to close the doors on you, but you don't have to let them. You can always put your foot in the door and push a little harder if you need to, and do it with a a great deal of respect and treat people well. And I think the proof will always come out, Bonnie, with the end product.
I love it. You know, actually going back to Joe Hallidan and being there, you know, it's a long day, you know, and actually several long days for you. Just for me, it was a one long day, but it was an incredible day watching you directing each scene and you determining like, okay, we've got what we need. And when it got to my part, which I didn't have lines, but I ended up with lines. And it was so amazing, like the way the direction that you give. And it was like, okay, this is what I'm wanting to see. And, you know, you do 2 or 3 rehearsals and we've got it, you know, and it was just incredible and magical how everything comes together. And yeah, just you did a phenomenal job. It was incredible.
Well, thank you very much. And it was great having, you know, some industry professionals to step in particular in your scene is one of the climaxes of the establishing scene of the entire film. And that sets the tone for the entire Joe Hallidan film. And I'm not going to spoil it for your audience by any means, but you and Joe Perez were a big part of why that climax ended the way it did. So my hat is definitely off to you, and I can't thank you enough. I should probably send you some swag.
Right back at you. We'll do a swag swap.
Swag swap.
Yeah, it was so incredible. Well, you know, talking about that because I got to be there for a day. What does weeks of this, you know, look like? You weren't just at one location, you know, from the setup to, you know, like making sure you've got all the footage you need. How does that work? What do you?
So ideally, Bonnie, in a film of this nature, ideally in a perfect setting, and what Jeff and I tried to do was you're at one location one time, and once you leave there, you'll never go back to that location. That's in a perfect world. We didn't have that perfect world except at very few locations where we could shoot out the entire location on whatever day sequence of days, whatever. Like we were in LaGrange for 3, 4, 5 days, I think. And once we got that shot out, we never had to go back. But the courthouse, we never had to go back. Ideally, you shoot everybody and everything out at a location, you go on to the next one. But we had several days, you know, we shot all around Central Texas. We were in Buda, we were in Smithville, we were in LaGrange, we were in Liberty Hill, we were in Bastrop, where you were at with us. And so we moved all around Central Texas. That was probably the most rewarding is getting to put back into some of these communities also while we're filming there. And you know, I know if I got 3 good takes of a setup, and you know how you saw how often we move the camera in the same scene for coverage, right?
Yes.
You get a lot of coverage, you get a lot of close-ups, like, you know, there was your close-up, Joe's close-up, Joe Perez's close up, things that, you know, and you do all that for the editor, because I knew going into this, I would not be able to be with the editor a lot. So I wanted to get him so much coverage that he's got a ton of footage in every scene to cut from and edit it together. I get a feeling on certain takes. And as I'm listening to it and watching the monitor, I just get a feeling that that's the one, you know. And sometimes you get 2 of those feelings in a setup, and then we're moving on, you know. And it's a feeling when that happens.
I love it. What's been the most challenging for you with this?
really, I would say in the last decade or so, just being gone as much. I I'm really like trying not to travel out of state anymore. You know, I've spent up to 6 months at a time on a film set, long, too far from home, and that's the challenge is to stay working local around South Texas and South Central Texas and Austin area, San Antonio, Houston. Fort Worth is, I'll definitely always go to North Texas to work. I had to go up there when I was doing stunts on 1883, and it wasn't too bad because I knew I could get home. But
Oh, you did stunts on 1883?
Episode 1, you bet. Episode 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sure I saw you then.
You did. We hung the pickpocket, and then I was
Oh,
the drunk man in front of the saloon beating the tar out of a guy as Tim and Faith come down the street in their carriage at night. So yeah, I had some pretty up close and personal. I got some pretty personal attention from Taylor Sheridan, the director of that, and he gave me, it was some real good insight. It was some real good insight. Now I can see how he comes up with everything that you see in Yellowstone and everything that you saw in 1883. I can see where he likes everything brutal, up close, and very real. Just get right to it. No sugarcoating it, no beating around the bush. He said, just beat him up. He said, just beat him. And I did for about 30 takes of that. I just beat him. And he wasn't but 8 foot away on the monitor watching me beat him up.
oh gosh.
Yeah, it was a pretty good scene. My face was seen a little bit too much. I didn't get to come back for any of the other episodes. I was really looking forward to season 2 of it. And because I was going to go back out for it. And then, they killed it, which was fine. I mean, everything's got to have an end to it, which was great. But it was a great series. Tim, Faith, and of course Sam Elliott's always a straight, right on guy. But they were all really, really good to work with, despite it being about 115 degrees in the stockyards.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Because that was in Fort Worth, right? Fort Worth Stockyards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, no wonder, Jody. I knew you looked familiar when I saw you. You've been in George Strait or Cavendar commercials with George Strait. Your face has been all over the place. No wonder.
Even at your local post office sometimes.
Uh-oh.
Nah, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That was just a joke, gang. So what was one of the biggest wins that you were so happy about?
Well, I'm really, really proud of an award I got about a decade or so ago. We partnered up with the National Park Service and did the largest interpretive film for the Cherokee Nation about the Trail of Tears, which happened in the early 1830s, as you may recall. I know you weren't around then, but you may recall that from your history books. It was a huge, huge undertaking, and we actually filmed that on tribal land up in Muskogee. Yeah, Muskogee. We went up to Muskogee and did that, and they brought in hundreds of Native Americans, Cherokee tribe members from all over the United States, because as you know, they're scattered out all over the place. They didn't all get swept up to the reservation by Andrew at that time. And at the International Cherokee Film Festival, they presented me a real nice award that I still display in my office every day. So that was a pretty big win. But probably the biggest win was when I met my wife, Shalina. That would be the biggest win for me.
Oh, and I've seen her. Beautiful red, long hair. Mm-hmm. Gorgeous, gorgeous lady. Aww.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
I consider that the biggest win.
So what do you want listeners to know most about you and your purpose and your path?
Well, my purpose and my path is to entertain people through whatever mediums I can do it. So whether it's a live show at Santa's Wonderland every Christmas season, I'll be in College Station entertaining hundreds of thousands of guests each year. And come see me, come say howdy. I play the character of Deputy Rowdy. I'll be at the Cowboy Corral, well, on my horses, doing shows for the 2-month run to entertain and film, to keep going. I've still got a few more good stunt years left in me. Actually, I just came off a film last week in Austin where I was back to doing stunts and acting. So it was a big double win. So that's my purpose and path is to make people smile, to make them laugh. I really love making people laugh. And I love bringing all sorts of entertainment to the industry. And I love working with musicians. I think they're some of the most natural, talented, coolest people to be around. I wish I had half the talent that you have in your little finger with you. But I've working at the park and working in film, I get to be around a lot of A-list musicians, and it's such a pleasure to watch what they do and people like, and watch what you do when you're entertaining. And I see how your fans get mesmerized by your performances. So again, my hat's off to you. And yeah, I know you're a born entertainer, and I'm a born funny guy. So I enjoy doing it. That's what I'm going to do till I can't make them laugh anymore.
I love it. What is there anything that I left out that we didn't talk about? This is so incredible.
Oh, I just think, Bonnie, to all y'all out there, if you're sitting on the fence thinking about getting into the motion picture business, the entertainment business, the music business, there's always a place for you. Find somebody like Bonnie or I, learn all you can, take a little bit of a leap of faith, and go see how you like it. I guarantee you, the entertainment business is vast and varied, and there's many spots, and don't doubt yourself. Don't ever doubt yourself, and always put your best foot forward. Remember the cowboy code and treat everybody with respect, dignity, honor, and honor those who came before you. And I guarantee you, you'll find some semblance of success in whatever you want to do.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. That's beautiful. I need to write a song about the cowboy code.
Well, if there's anybody good, it's you.
I have to say, you inspired me. So you know what I did? I contacted an agency. So after our, day of filming, I actually went and contacted an agency because I want to do this more. And so I'm actually going through auditioning interviews right now, just classes. And my last class is next week, and I have to do 2 monologues. Yeah, thank you so much for the inspiration, because it was surely exciting. I loved it. Every moment watching watching the monitors, watching the scenes, just, it was incredible.
Great. I'm glad you liked it. We sure enjoyed having you out there, and I can't wait. I know I and Jeff can't wait to do the next one and have you on board, actress.
Oh, I'd love to. So how long, I guess another question then, so how long do you think it normally takes for a film to be released?
We are on track to have a rough draft of the edit. That's just a rough, put the puzzle together of the edit, like a first draft, by this weekend.
Oh, wow.
It's very, I would say this thing's going to be released easily, as fast as they are moving with the edit. I would say this thing's going to be colorized, locked, released, musical scored, and released before the end of the year. Easily, I would say.
Incredible. Well, I can't wait when it comes out. We'll definitely be
Mhm.
promoting it. Definitely. And yeah, super excited. So do y'all do like a do you do any like red carpet events when you release the film?
The I am guessing since it was Ralph's script and he was the executive producer, I'm guessing we will probably have our premiere in Austin at one of the larger theater complexes in Austin. His last film, we did that, and they seat a lot of people at Alamo Draft House theaters. So be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned, watch our page, Joe Hallidan, The Case of the Missing Sister. Check it out on your Facebook. Uh, be sure, y'all, and stay in tune. Bonnie will let you know what's going on with it as well if you haven't
Definitely.
seen the. But yeah, we look forward to it and look forward to meeting all of you at all the premieres and the film festivals we'll be promoting it at all over the Lone Star State.
So if we want to follow you, what's the best place to follow you and find out what you're up to?
For all things live entertainment, you can follow me on Insta at Santa's Rowdy. That's SantasRowdy. Santa's Rowdy. Or you can hit me up on my Facebook page. That's Jody Stelzig. Just me. It's just me. Love to meet y'all. Follow me, see what I've been doing since my rodeo days, and check us out. Meanwhile, I'm going to be watching the mailbox if I can get my hat to fit inside for my Bonnie Lang CDs.
All right. Well, it was such a pleasure having you with us, and I'm looking forward to talking with you again soon.
Well, thanks, Bonnie. So y'all take care and have a great day. Tell them Rowdy said howdy.